For those who are just coming in or still on their way, we are 2 minutes early, but we're so glad that you're with us. And I'm so excited to talk with my sister friend, Dorian Gonzalez. Since April, I had this idea in my mind, and you know how life goes, so many things to do, but I'm so excited and so thrilled that Dorian, my girl Dorian, agreed to join me on this series sponsored by Value What Matters. And Value What Matters is all about creating space and develop habits and strategies so we can flourish. And I have sponsored this along with my Facebook group, Christian Women Leading in Life. And can you give me a minute to introduce her properly? You know, I know sometimes, especially coming from Caribbean culture, we tend to minimize the great things that we are doing, but sister has it going on. So let me just tell you, Dorian is an independent health coach with Team Beachbody, a company whose mission is to help achieve their goals and help people achieve their goals and enjoy healthy, fulfilling lives. Dorian is also certified as a PIO instructor in addition to being a coach. And I actually had to look up PIO so she can talk some more about that. She's also a leader on her team of coaches, and they call themselves the Redeemed Warriors. She's a wife of 2 darling children and a mother. And since entering the health and wellness program, Dorian has committed her time to spreading the message that anyone can reach their health goals with the right mindset and the right tools. She's also the former health and ministries coordinator for the church, which we both attend, which we haven't been to in over a year. Can you believe it, Dorian? And I went to some of her classes about vegan cooking and healthy lifestyle, and she really believes that you can do this. We can do this, and it doesn't have to be a pain. It can be fun. It can be fun. So she's run these classes, she's done group fitness, and she led a very successful health fair. What I love about Dorian is that she really lives what she preaches, and I follow her. I have to admit, sometimes enviously, because I'm like, oh my goodness, look at that. Her favorite verse is, do your best. Her favorite quote is, do your best and let God do the rest. She believed that goes for your health journey as well. God wants us to be our best, healthiest self. So Dorian, tell me, you know, I've known you for a long time. How did you begin this journey to get into the health and fitness field? Because when I first met you, this is not what you were doing. So tell us.
Right. Yes, it wasn't what I was doing at first. It's funny because my background is in science. I have a bachelor's in animal science and a master's in neuroscience. So actually after grad school, I decided to take time off. I had a newborn son, and I wanted to spend more time with him. So I took time off, and I took maybe about a year off before going to work, because I hadn't worked since grad school. And I got a job at a pharmaceutical company. That is something that I've always wanted to do, be in farm. I've been in academia for years and years. So I was finally in the pharmaceutical company. I felt like I had made it to the big times. It wasn't what I thought it was. It was very stressful. Yes, it was very cutthroat. And the research that I was doing, I really wasn't interested in. So being away from my son, who was a year old, you know, I kind of struggled with that. I struggled with going someplace and being there and not liking what I was doing and leaving my son. Well, he was with my sister, which was fine, but leaving my son and doing something I did not want to do. So I struggled with that. I eventually resigned and decided that I was going to stay home with him.
How long did you stay in that job?
I stayed probably about 6 months. It wasn't long at all. It was very like, what am I doing here? So, I'm like, okay, let's take a step back and we'll reevaluate. We'll stay at home, we'll take care of my son, and then we'll see where I want to go from there. I ended up staying at home longer than I thought. I I eventually had my daughter, and um, then I realized, okay, it's been 2 years and I'm still here. So what am I going to do? And also bringing it back to the fitness world, I had gained weight after my daughter, and I was looking for a chance to, or looking for a way to get rid of that weight that I had gained because um, I was struggling. So
Oh,
I couldn't go
it
to the
creeps up
gym.
on you, doesn't it? It just
It
creeps up
does, and
on you.
months and months and months. Like I said, this my daughter. By the time my daughter was 2, actually, is when I really started. So it had been years, and over the time, it just like you said, creeps up on you. And I had gained so much weight, and during my pregnancy with my daughter, I had gained a lot of weight too. So I had gestational diabetes,
Oh,
which yeah, which caused her to be a big baby, and also caused me to gain a lot of weight during that pregnancy. And post pregnancy was hard for me to drop that weight. So,
been
like
there,
I
done
said,
that.
yeah, my daughter was 2, so I was like, okay, it's really time for me to, you know, do what I need to do. And people actually thought I was pregnant again. That's how, people were
Oh
asking
my
me, "Oh, are you
goodness.
expecting again?" I was like, "No, I'm not."
Like,
So I was like,
and
"Okay, it's time."
a lot of people identifying with this, because especially for women postpartum having babies, it just does a number on your body, and
It
sometimes
does.
it's not being in the right mind space and everything to really push forward.
Push,
So go
right.
ahead.
You're right. You're right. Exactly. So, like I said, 2 years later, so I clearly wasn't in the right mindset because it took me 2 years after she was born to, get started. So, like I said, I was a stay-at-home mom by then. I hadn't gone back to work, and had 2 little ones at home, and there was no way I was going to make it to the gym.
Oh,
It just wasn't happening. So I knew I had to do something at home. And I know you probably remember I had the Taibo workouts, the VHS, the cassette tape, the tape you put into the player. I had those, so I would do
listen. I still have, which I need to throw away because I don't have anything to play it on.
right, no VCR. Who has the VCR now? So I had probably about, I don't know, 3 or 4 of the tapes. So I would play them and I would work out about 5 or 6 times a week. I would maybe finish the workout. They were long, they're about an hour long. And like I had 2 little kids who were crawling around me. So I would try to finish as much as I could. And it just wasn't working. I wasn't losing that pregnancy weight. I still had that pregnancy pouch that everybody was saying, "Oh, you're pregnant again." And so I struggled. So I was like, I need something more. I saw a friend of mine from college, a really good friend, who was actually in the choir with me in college. And she was saying, I'm going to be doing this program. It's kind of like Insanity. By the way, I was thinking about doing Insanity. I know you may or may not have heard of Insanity. It was like one of the craziest, most popular workouts that,
I've
I
heard
guess
of it, and
probably about
I
10
promptly
years ago.
decided that it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I can do Insanity, but I was considering it because I was really desperate. But when she posted that she was going to be doing this workout program that was like Insanity, the same trainer, but it'll be 25 minutes, only 25 minutes, which big difference from the hour-long workouts that I was doing. I'm like, okay, let me contact her, see what she's talking about. So I reached out, and she said, yeah, it's like Insanity, but it's only 25 minutes, so it's not as hard. She's like, I think you can do it. I know that you just had your daughter, you trying to lose this weight, so I think you should join our group. It's going to be a bunch of us who are going to be doing it, so we'll hold each other accountable. So I was like, okay. And she told me that, the program came with a superfood shake, and I'm like, oh, I don't really do shakes like that. So I was like, but I'll try it again. I was desperate. I really wanted to lose this pregnancy pouch that everybody thought I was pregnant. So I told her, okay, send me the information. I'll talk to my husband about the money, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, I got the program. I joined her group, which was on Facebook, and I loved it. Like every day, people were logging in saying, "Hey, I did this workout. How was your workout of the day?" And we were all chat about it. Oh, this was so hard, but we got through. You know, it was really good. I loved the community. So the program was 10 weeks long. I ended up
Wow.
finishing
Wow.
the 10 weeks. Yeah, right. Because I didn't think I could do something like that. But because I had the group, I had my friend who was doing it, we all kind of kept each other accountable for reaching, you know, the end of the program. So
Do you
10
remember
weeks
how much
later,
weight you lost? Do you remember how much weight you lost? Did you lose over the
told,
10-week period?
I think it was probably about 10 pounds
Wow.
around that.
Hmm.
So, which was great. Like when I actually took before and after pictures, and when I looked at the before and 30-day side by side, I said, wow, this is crazy. And then I looked at the before and the 10-week, and it was
Hmm.
like amazing to me. Like I wish I had it and I would show you guys, but I had lost the pregnancy pouch that I was trying to get rid of, and I was like, okay, this works. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was, just the workout program, how intense it was,
Hmm.
the length, the accountability group, or the shake that she got me to drink. But whatever it was working. So she also told me that she was a coach, and that she was also a stay-at-home mom, but she did coaching on the side just
Hmm.
for additional income. So again, I was a stay-at-home mom as well, and I was like, okay, I can use the money, sure, why not?
Hmm.
So I signed up to be a coach because I really loved the program I was doing, and I wanted to share that with other people, and I wanted to
And
start a group. Go ahead.
I think that's really the best way to sell stuff. When something has really, really worked for you and you really believe in it, you can really
Absolutely.
become an ambassador for it. And you just done brilliantly in terms of really promoting Beachbody and health and fitness.
Yes, I love it. Like I said, it helped me then, and even today, it's still helping me. And now, it's on a whole nother level because now I'm doing, I'm working with other coaches and helping them to start their businesses and things like that. But I- like I'm doing a Beachbody. The cleanse that I'm doing now is from Beachbody. The workouts that I do are from Beachbody,
Girl,
and
I know. I be stalking you. I be looking all over your page. But Dorian, I want to ask you because you. I would say that you to me, you've never really been overweight. You're kind of petite, to me. Okay, so I just want to know because a lot of us we go through this comparison thing with other women and ourselves and our bodies. When
true.
we talk about body fitness and health, what does that mean to you? What's a good and healthy working definition for us to work
Right.
with?
For me, I am all about body positivity. That means to love who you are, where you are. But that, for me, being healthy is what I want people to be. I'm not looking for a number on the scale. I'm not looking for, that major transformation, the before and after picture. I look for people to want to eat more veggies, to want to eat more fruit, to move their bodies at least 30 minutes every day. Those are the types of things I'm looking for. And of course, the side effects would be, yes, you're going to lose weight, yes, you're going to look differently, things like that. You'll have a transformation. But just if you just move your temple,
Mhm.
if you just move your temple, and you treat it in a way that um that God would want you to treat it, I think that you would live a happier and healthier life.
Yeah.
So
I mean, those are such wise words. But I honestly, I would tell you, we have been so conditioned by that number on that piece of equipment that we stand on the ground. Do I have a witness? And I've heard
yes.
lots of things. So for me, I guess as I've gotten older, one of the gauges that I use, because I agree with you, for health, I want to take care of this body because it does the work for me. it is everything in terms of your health is your wealth. One gauge that I've used is I really like to fit comfortably in my clothes because I feel good about that. And it's kind of tangible, but it's not as fleeting for me as the number. And I
Yeah,
kind of
I like
gauge,
that.
yeah, yeah, fit comfortably in my clothes. And I'm not going up a size. I'm not going up to the next level in that
Right.
area. So Dorian, I want to talk to you about something because when I met you, we talked about running, and I remember you saying running is not for me. And then I turn around and I'm like, you're running every day. You're doing a virtual the Broad Street run. How were you able to change the mindset and become a runner? And what can we learn? Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely was not a runner. I said like it took me a while to actually change, that verbiage in my head saying I am not a runner. But anyway, I started let's see, maybe 3 years ago now. And then back then I still said, all right, I don't really want to do this, but I started running because I would always try to run. So like
What does
every
trying to run look like?
so
We
for
want
me,
to know.
I don't like the way running. I didn't like the way running made me feel. I didn't like the huff and puff. Like I was always out of breath, and I was like, this is just not for me. So when I try, like I would say, all right, when I started my fitness journey, I'm like, okay, I'm doing all these difficult workouts. I can run again.
Yeah.
I can try. So I went out and ran. I still didn't like what I felt. I'm like, I wasn't consistent. Um, and my sister, who is my two of my sisters, they're runners.
I know.
Well, my oldest sister, she's not a runner anymore, but my younger sister is a runner, and she's actually training for a marathon right now, which is November. She would always tell me, and she would say, "You can do this. I don't see why you're struggling with this." I'm like, "I just don't like the way it makes me feel." She's like, "But you do these high intensity interval training workouts, and you're huffing and puffing just the same. Why can't you do this?" So I'm like, fine. And she said, just start slow. So that's what I did. I started and I said, okay, I'm just going to run a mile. Sure, why not? And I'm not going to like speed up. If I
Listen,
need to
listen,
walk, I'll
listen.
do that.
Wait a minute. You're going to start with a mile.
Just a
Finish it
mile.
later. That's a lot for many of us. That's a lot for me. Can I
It
just say when
is.
I started? Yes.
But for me, like I was thinking, okay, I do these hard workouts. Let me challenge myself a little bit and let me see if I can do a mile. So, and where I live, the street right outside my development, it's like a mile long, like a half a mile up, a half a mile back. So I'm like, if I run up to the light and run back, we'll see how that works out. So that's what I did. And I said, I gave myself grace. I said, if I need to walk, I'm totally fine. I wasn't looking at pace. I just wanted to see how well I can do it. And then my sister, she was like, okay, keep doing it, keep being consistent with it. So, okay, I'm like, all right, let me just do it like once a week, just to
Mm-hmm.
add to my routine. Um, and to be honest, I dreaded that day. I just like, oh, why do I got to do this? I did not like running. And, and then actually, the more I did it, the more my body got used to it. The less I was breathing heavily, the faster I became. The more I was able to, reach to that light at the end of the street and come back, faster. Um, I was like, all right. My sister was like, all right, you probably can do some more miles. I'm like, fine, I'll
Mm-hmm.
just do another mile. You see my sister having a big part in this because she's always nudging me to say, oh, you can do more. So I'm like, fine. So I did it. I started doing 2 miles twice a week. And I
Wow.
would run on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I'm like, all right. Again, I dreaded those days. I did not want to leave the house. I would make every excuse like, oh, but I made myself do it because I said I'm going to do it. And I know my sister was looking at me like, um, so I started doing it twice a week. And again, I got better. I got faster. I'm like,
And look at you. And look at you now. How many miles can you do now?
I do I'm comfortable with, let me just say that, with 3 miles twice a week. Um, I have done, I did the Broad Street last year virtual, that was
Yes,
10
yes.
miles. And I'm doing it again, which is in a couple of weeks.
Is it going
And
to be
so
virtual again? Is it going to be virtual?
they actually gave us the option of doing it virtually or in person. However, if when it's in person, there's no spectators.
Gotcha.
So it's just going to be the runners, and you'll have to wear a mask.
Hmm. Well, Dorian,
So yeah.
I really, you said so many important things there. So one thing is to begin imperfectly. And I like that you said that you dreaded it because, most of us, I don't start off loving exercise, right? But I see you, and I can see that it has become part of your whole regimen,
Hmm.
and then you also spoke about the importance of accountability and having people to push you on. That's actually how I started running too, where somebody said to me, because I said, I'm not a runner, and she said, you are a runner. And for some reason, it was just like it unlocked a key in me. True confession, I have been at different points in my life where I have wanted to really get back into fitness. And like earlier this year, I wanted to. And this has been a particularly challenging time for most people. And I would start and I just would flop after a couple of days and so on. And then about a month ago, I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired of not taking care of my health. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. And I can't really say exactly what it was from April to now that got me into that mind frame, but I'm curious as a coach, what do you see in clients who are really able to say, I'm going to do this, and they do it? Are there some qualities or characteristics that separates those who really make the move?
Yes. So I would say what I've noticed when people actually stick with it, they have a why. And what I mean by that is they have a reason to do it. And not just, oh, I want to lose weight, because that's really not a deep enough reason for people to stick with something. Um, People who, in my opinion, people who stick with something, their why goes at least 5 whys deep. So if you say, okay, I want to lose weight. Why?
Oh, I
Well,
love
I
that. I
want
love
to,
that. 5 whys deep. Go
five
ahead.
whys deep.
Yes.
So yeah, so why do you want to lose weight? Oh, I want to lose it for this event. Well, why do you want to lose it for the event? I don't want people to see me a certain way. Oh, what, why don't you want people to see? You just keep going. You want to dig as deep as you can. And when you get to that fifth why, that's like really digging in to figuring out why you actually want to do something. And that will, in my opinion, motivate you. If you can go more than 5 whys, that'll probably motivate you even more. But I see that people who have that why, that's one thing. People who have that why that they really dug deep to get. Two is, like you said, accountability.
Accountability, yeah.
Yes, that keeps people on. Like I said, my sister, she was always like, "Look, you can do this. I don't know, what do you think?" But I'm like, "But I really can." She's like, "Yeah, you can." So if you have somebody in your corner who's like that, in my opinion, for me, and for a lot of people who I coach, which I'm that person for them,
Yes.
um, I see them, succeed. I like to take people through at least 30 days because, like, I don't know if you've heard 21 days, you're forming a habit. If you do
Yes.
something consistently for 21 days, that's what they
Yes.
say. So I like to take people through 30 days of something. And for those who are actually consistent with those 30 days, with me, telling them, hey, you can do it, and whatever it is, that accountability, and them having that why that they keep going back to when they feel like they can't, they're going to succeed in those 30 days and beyond. So that's what I've seen in the people who I've coached, and also who the coaches on my team have experienced that as well.
Right. So Charlene is saying she loves the 5 why too. You really have to dig deep and know what your why is. And you alluded to it, and it's certainly what I feel. I mentioned being able to fit into my clothes. and but when I think about my why, it's about I really want to maximize my life and live it well. And a big part of that, of course, is your body, your health, right? Because it drives everything else. It drives everything
Right.
else. So that's
Right.
wonderful. So Dorian, uh, holidays, the holidays are coming up, girl.
Yes.
What we gonna
My
do?
favorite.
What we gonna do? So Joy and you and I talking. You've been over to my house. You know, girl, I like food. Do I have a
Me
witness?
too.
Anybody in the chat? Can I just admit I like food? And I don't just like the taste of it. You know, there's so much about food, hospitality, having people over, sitting around a table, breaking bread. There's something special that happens when you sit around a table and eat. And the holidays is like, wow. So, how do we have our turkey and eat it too? Is there such a thing? How do you have your turkey if you're
Right.
vegan? Natasha's saying, I like food too. How do
Oh,
we have our
yes.
turkey or turkey and still, how do we eat it and still have it too? How, so the question is, how can we make this focus on health, overall health, a lifestyle practice, even through the holidays and beyond?
So I love food as well. I love good food. I love savory food. Um, and Thanksgiving is my absolute favorite holiday of the year. Love it. Like you said, I love for Thanksgiving. I love the fellowship. I love the food. I love all that. But well, for me, let me just say for me, Thanksgiving is my treat day. I don't say cheat. I keep it positive. It's my treat day, and I go all in. I love
Yeah.
food. So I'm not on a diet. I'm not, restricted or anything on Thanksgiving. Mm-mm. Um,
So do you
but
prep before? Do you like maybe eat less before, or you just like say, listen, what, this is just Thanksgiving. I'm just gonna do my thing.
that's exactly what I say. And I don't prep for it. The way I see it is I'm living my life in such a way where I can do that. I can treat myself one day. That's fine. And and I'm not going to say just one day. It's not like the whole year I am really strict with my eating, but for the most part, I'm watching what I'm eating. I like to indulge in fruits and vegetables. I love to explore new healthy recipes. I have a pescatarian diet for the most part, but right now, of course, I'm vegan, and I'll
Yes.
probably stay vegan for a while. But you know, like I said, I'm living my life in such a way where I can treat myself that day, should I choose to. But for those who do struggle, and they want to, be consistent with a certain healthy lifestyle, or I'm just going to say those who want to be healthy on that day. Let me just say that. I would say when you look at your plate, make sure most of it is vegetables. I would say drink water before you eat. I would say probably 16 ounces. That's a good amount to fill your belly and give you that feeling of full. No, really, it works. So if you drink, I would say about 15 minutes before you sit down and eat, you'll have that feeling of, okay, I'm full, and you won't eat that much.
Right.
And it's a good habit to do. Even now, that's something that I started doing recently. I actually drink a lot of water about 30 minutes before I eat. And that by the time I'm finished my meal, I'm like, okay, I don't really need anything else. I'm not going back for seconds, and things like that. So that's a good tip if you want to, just for that day or just in general. Um, eat less. But I also say to practice portion control anyway. So when I say portion control, I mean, I actually do a portion control program, but when you look at your plate, you don't want like a mountain of carbs or a mountain of
That means
protein, you know what I
macaroni and
mean?
cheese, people. That means mashed potatoes. That
Mashed
means
potatoes,
carbs.
mac and cheese, any pastas, you know, but you can also make small changes, like, instead of white rice, make brown rice. Instead of, having white bread, you just eat whole wheat bread. Things like that. Those small changes can make a big difference.
They do. I'll tell you a change I made several years ago, which has made a big difference in my life. And maybe it wouldn't be for you. I do not drink juice. I do not drink soda. I do not drink juice. On weekends, I rather eat my calories than drink it. And so my
Hmm.
beverage of choice is water. I might squeeze a lemon in it. And I've saved so many calories just from doing that. And I don't feel deprived. But I really going back to the Thanksgiving question, I guess what I hear you saying is if you make it a lifestyle decision, and the principle that I like that I hear underneath that is the 80-20 principle, or some people call it the 90-10 principle.
Hmm.
If you eat well 80% of the time, then you can have the luxury of treating yourself, not cheating,
Not cheating.
treating yourself 20% of the time or 10% of the time, as the case may be. Because and Elder
Hmm.
Mayo, I call Elder Mayo because that's how we roll. She quoted. She doesn't use the word diet, and I think it is helpful. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of living in the world and taking care of our bodies so that
Right.
we can flourish. So, Dorian, we're almost nearing the end of our time together. I want to know, I think you've alluded to it, but perhaps you'd like to share some more. What are your 5 top practical pieces of advice that you would give someone who wants to start today or tomorrow or this
Hmm.
weekend? Because I really believe in when you feel inspired, don't just leave this program saying, that was really good. No, take
Yeah.
some action today or
Right.
tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you how you can do that. That will get you where you want to go, even in incremental steps. So, what are some, and you probably alluded to some of them, but what are
Hmm.
5 practical pieces of advice that you would give people who want to do something?
Right. Yeah. So my top five would be to drink more water. And that, like I said before, a meal, sure, but just in general, they recommend the infamous they recommend to drink half your body weight in ounces of water. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you're going to be drinking 75 ounces of water each day. And I would say, like I said, drink before your meal, but just drink that throughout the day.
Dorian, can
Get
I can
yourself a
I just
water bottle.
interject? Can I
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
interject? Yeah, because I that's number one. Drink lots of water. But I know that when I first started doing this, I struggled as well to pace it, and so that you will not have a much
To run.
interrupted sleep.
Yes,
And so,
yes.
how do you manage all of that water during the day?
So I like to cut my water intake at 7 p.m. I don't want to drink after that because if I do, I will be waking up in the middle of the night. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, I don't want that. So, what the tips that I have, like I said, drink before your meal, drink after your meal. If you want to, like 20 minutes after your meal, you don't want to drink right after, because you're going to interrupt your digestion process a little bit. Um, So drink before, drink after, and I tell people this is maybe a little bit TMI, but after you go to the bathroom, drink some water. I know it's, but if you take those tips, you're drinking before and after a meal, and after you go to the bathroom, about 8 ounces each time. If you can do that, you're going to probably reach by the end of the day your goal.
Really, really,
Um,
really good. What I found that also helps me too is that as soon as I get up in the morning, I drink a glass of water,
oh
usually with
yes,
some lemon in it, and then I go for my
yes,
exercise, and then when I come back, I drink a cup again because I
yes,
really want to space it out. So drink water. What's next?
yes. So another one I wrote them down. So if you see me looking to
Yeah,
the side,
yeah.
I would say with nutrition, practice adding more than subtracting. Like you said, I think your friend doesn't like to use the word diet, and neither do I. So when I say adding and not subtracting makes me think dieting, and you're taking food away. Um, I would say add more vegetables, add more fruit, add more healthy carbs, more healthy fats to your diet. You're adding, the more of these healthy things that you're adding, the less you're going to want those unhealthy things. So practice adding and not subtracting.
Love it.
Um, the next thing I say, do to work out, to move your body. And for those who are getting started, I say start with something easy and fun. Maybe go for a walk, maybe do a dance workout. I love to dance. Um, but just move your body. I'm not saying go out and do a hardcore boot camp workout if that's not your thing. Don't do that. Or don't go for a 5 mile run if that's, but move your body, do some type of exercise and make it fun. When
Mhm.
it's fun, you're more likely to do it. Um, get an accountability partner is my next
Yes,
one.
yes, yes, yes.
We've talked about that and how important it is for you to have that person who's in your corner telling you that you can do it. That is so important. That's helped me so much. I see
Yes.
my accountability partner is actually on right now. Hey, Crystal.
Hey,
Um,
Crystal. Is it
but
Crystal?
Crystal, yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that she was on. And the last thing I would recommend, because I'm a coach, I say get a coach.
Get a
If you
coach.
can't get that accountability partner, get a coach or a trainer,
Yeah.
somebody who will, you know, be able to recommend things that you can do.
Love it,
So,
love it. And I am going to get those from you, and I'm going to put them in the show notes to share afterwards. So Dorian, just two more questions.
mhm,
So, in addition to these wonderful tips, what we live in such a great age, what resources or books or apps, what would you recommend? Spanning the gamut from free to costly, because
mhm,
this is a difficult time for many people financially and everything. So to suit every pocket, what is some
sure.
resources, books, or apps that you would recommend?
So for books, one of the books that I like to recommend to anybody starting something is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Great book. Like I listen to that over and over and over again. But yeah, I listen to audiobooks. I do
Gotcha.
Audible. I do, the library has you can borrow audiobooks. If you didn't know that, go get a library card and it's free.
Yes.
So I love that you can do that on Audible, I mean on the library apps. So you can actually get The Compound Effect from your library, and it's such a great book. Basically, just to give you a gist, Darren Hardy is saying that if you do little things, like I mentioned earlier, if you do little things like every day, that's going to lead to big results.
Yes.
So if you do those little things every day, but the way he talks about it in the book is just really great. So compound effect, it'll motivate you to get started if you're not already started. And as far as apps, I'm a coach. I have an app and it's free. I have an accountability group and it's free.
Yes. Yes.
You
If
are
it's
welcome
if
to
it's
join.
free, it's for me,
If
isn't
it's
that?
free, it's for me. That's my other phrase.
I know, I know, I know.
So, yes, I have a group. If you're interested in, if you just need some type of accountability, you're welcome to join the group. What we do in the group, we have people log their workouts each day. We have people post their meals. We have free, recipe demos. We have one of our coaches is a nutrition coach, and she does these vegan recipe demos. She comes on and does live videos. We have virtual workouts, they are free. Um, what else? We just have a bunch of stuff. We have a lot of resources in our group. Within our coaches, we have personal trainers. So if you have a question about form or am I doing this right or what should I do, we have coaches who are able to answer that. So it's more like a community, the accountability group, more so.
Wonderful,
I like to say
wonderful,
accountability, but it's more than that.
wonderful.
Right. And as far as programs, I
Mhm.
mean, paid programs, you can get an accountability, I mean, not accountability, a personal trainer, those, they're always looking for clients. Um, what I offer as a coach, I offer Beachbody programs, which have been, created by trainers, by personal trainers. They're home workout programs that you can just do, like I said, in the comfort of your own home, or they're portable. They can go where you go. If you have a business trip, take it with you. You can do your workout at the gym or in the hotel room. But so yeah, that's what I can offer. I also offer the Shakeology, which I mentioned at the top
Mhm.
of the hour. That's the shake that I was doing. It's a superfood shake. If you're interested in that, yeah.
Right, wonderful. And I would just add, I do know, like, there's so many, like, if you YouTube University, there's so many
YouTube
exercise
University.
program. You can walk at home. You can
Right.
do something for 10, 15, or 20 minutes, as the case may.
Yes.
So
So
Dorian,
if you're going to do like YouTube or anything, just talk to someone before you're doing those type of workouts. If it's not created like it, by a trainer, you just want to make sure that the things that you're doing is, you know, good for your body, basically. So,
excellent, absolutely wonderful advice. Where are you now in your health journey, and what's next for Coach Dorian?
so where I am now, like I said, I'm doing this cleanse. I mean, as far as what I'm doing as far as eating, but I'm also training other coaches to do what I do. That's one of the things that I'm doing. I'm stepping into more of a leadership role on my team. And what was the last thing you asked? I was going to
What's next for you? I
comment.
guess you,
Oh, what's next?
yeah.
Yes, what's next for me? So what I'm thinking right now is I would love to go into personal training, to get my personal training
Wonderful,
certification. So
wonderful.
that's something that's I would like to do in 2022. So that's definitely something to look forward to for me, um, in the next stage. And that means I don't know if you may or may not know this. When I was working at the church doing the fitness classes at the church, I loved working with older adults. Like that, I don't know why, I just loved it. I don't know if it's because they were so dedicated and committed to doing the exercises, but I think I want to, specialize in that.
Oh, that's wonderful, and definitely needed. I feel as though we almost live in an age where it's really much focused on the younger generation, but we
It's
know
true.
that we are living longer and longer. So that is just wonderful, Dorian. So Dorian, if people want to connect with you and learn more about body fitness and making it happen, how can they reach you?
So you can find me right here on Facebook, Dorian Gonzalez. I'll give Kathy the information for that. But you can also find me on Instagram at coach, no, at coach underscore D underscore Gonzalez. Again, I'll give that information to Kathy so people can reach me. And if you do go to Instagram and you click on the link in my bio, that'll take you to all my websites. So
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, this has been so much fun, Dorian. Thank you so much for sharing out of the wealth of your experience and your knowledge, but also just being so transparent. And so for all of you who have stayed with us, thank you so much for joining. I want to say, if you have been inspired by this conversation, I know you're here because just like us, you're interested in health. I want to encourage you to take action today. Do something. Do something. It can be small, as Coach Dorian said, but do something. And one of the ways is I have created a 30-day calendar, um, to get you exercising. 30 days, real simple exercise, like Dorian said earlier, walk 1 mile one day and so on. And so I'm going to make that available for you at no cost to you. Just sign up, head over to valuewhatmatters.com, and I will put the link in the chat box afterwards. So good to chat with you, mwah, everybody. And
thanks,
remember, it's
everybody.
value what matters. Take care. Bye-bye.